In today's video, I'm going to show you how to add a shadow in GIMP, step by step, so you can make your designs look more realistic, more professional, and much more polished. Whether you're working with text, a logo, or an isolated object, this is one of the easiest effects you can learn in GIMP, and it can instantly improve the look of your project. If this tutorial helps you out, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more quick and easy software tutorials. All right, let's jump into it. First, open your image in GIMP. If you're adding a shadow to an object, make sure the object is isolated on a transparent layer and that the background has already been removed. That step matters because the shadow effect works best when GIMP can clearly detect the shape you want to cast the shadow. If you're working with text, this is even easier. Just go to the Layers panel and click the text layer you want to edit. You can also use Ctrl+L if you need to bring up the Layers panel quickly. Once you've selected the correct layer, the next step is to open the shadow filter. At the top of GIMP, click Filters, then choose Light and Shadow, and then click Drop Shadow. This will open the Drop Shadow settings window, where you can fully control how the shadow looks. This is the part where you can make the effect subtle, dramatic, soft, or sharp, depending on the style you want. Now let's go through the settings one by one. The first controls you'll see are the X and Y offset sliders. These determine how far the shadow moves horizontally and vertically away from your object. If you increase the X offset, the shadow shifts left or right. If you increase the Y offset, the shadow moves up or down. Small changes can make a big difference here, so take your time and watch the preview as you adjust them. Next is the blur radius. This controls how soft or sharp the shadow edges appear. If you want a realistic shadow, usually a bit of blur looks best, because real shadows are rarely perfectly hard-edged. If you want a more graphic or bold look, lower blur values can give you a sharper edge. The key is to match the blur to the style of your image. After that, you'll see the grow radius. This setting changes the size of the shadow in relation to the original object. Increasing the grow radius makes the shadow slightly larger, while reducing it makes the shadow closer to the exact shape of the object. This is helpful when you want the shadow to feel natural and not too tight around the edges. Then adjust the opacity. This controls how dark or transparent the shadow is. A higher opacity gives you a stronger, darker shadow, while a lower opacity makes it lighter and more subtle. For many designs, especially clean modern graphics, a softer shadow with moderate opacity looks best. For heavier or more dramatic designs, you can push it darker. You can also change the shadow color. By default, it's usually black, but you don't have to keep it that way. Click the color box if you want the shadow to match the lighting in your image, or if you want to create a stylized effect. For example, a cool gray or even a slightly tinted shadow can look great in some compositions. Make sure the preview box stays checked while you work. That way you can see every change live on the canvas before you apply it. This makes it much easier to fine-tune the effect and avoid guessing. Once you're happy with how the shadow looks, click OK to apply it permanently. And that's it. You've successfully added a shadow in GIMP. It's a simple effect, but it can make your images, text, and graphics look much more finished and professional. If you want more GIMP tutorials like this one, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next guide. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.